Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? I want to just say happy Saturday to you, man. I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast. And here's what we're going to talk about and discuss today. And it's a question: does your story matter? Does your story matter? I want you to think about this as we unpack story and, how impactful story can be. But I just really want you to take time today on this beautiful seventh day of the week. This is the day where God was like, hey, man, I'm done. I'm going to rest. I don't have to create man again. I don't have to create the earth again. I don't have to create the animals again. He created everything and then set up and had his automation built into everything. So, wow. Like, how can we automate our lives? So, does your story matter? And I thought about this, and I want to give a shout out to somebody, David Griffith. I want to give a shout out to David Griffith, and I want to give a shout out to him because I saw a post as I was coming on live, and I also want to give a shout out to Chip Dizard. Both of these individuals are top of their game. Chip is an amazing videographer, photographer, just overall, he helps people tell their story about their marriages and about their brands and things of that nature. And then you have David. He tells the story of God. Like he's the prayer warrior. He prays for everybody. And I saw a post that really, really, really made, I'm talking about, it really brought it home for me. Chip had gone to David. One, got him into his busy calendar to go and do some shots. He needs some headshots and, whatever. But David wasn't feeling well. And then Chip says, you know what, brother? If you're not feeling well, don't worry about it. Now, David was relieved. He's relieved. And I'm telling you about what I read in this post. David's relieved. And he's like, man, thank you so much. And then Chip says, hey, can I pray for you? He says, man, somebody has to pray for the prayer man. And that hit me really, 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 I'm not going to say hard, but it made me think. The power of that story that I read that helped me to get context of not just one person, but two people all at the same time. That one story, like I can tell this story. I can just tell them, hey, I'm going to tell this story for a long time. Why? It's two men who realized that prayer's everything, right? David already knows prayer's everything. And because he already knows that, he prays for people every single day. He has hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok. And then he's not feeling well. And another man shows up and says, you know what? You're not feeling well. Why don't I pray for you? Because even the prayer man needs prayer. We're living in a time where men are displaced. I was talking to my sisters in the kingdom just a couple of days ago. And we're in what we call our family room, and we're talking, and I don't know, Holy Spirit led me, and I said something, and it was, it brought up the fact that men right now, like, I love what's happened for women. I love what's happened where equality, it was always supposed to be that way. When God said, let us make man in our image, man is not singular. Man is not singular. Now, men just refers to the male species, but man it refers to the whole species, which is man. When you hear the word man, that's man and female. So when God said, let us make man in our image, that means that both are equal. The man and the woman are equal. They have different roles. And here's the thing: we've lived in a time where women were put down. And so we're living in a time now when women's coming up. But back to the story. So here's what's interesting is that I was like, man, men have been displaced. And because men are not so easily, and this was shared on the call, men, we don't always say we need help. If you're a man, you probably can say, man, I can get a witness there. Like I'm not just calling people for help. Like I'm gonna try and figure out because we're problem solvers. We were built to solve problems and we were built to get them done. And because of that, our innate nature doesn't say, hey, I'm vulnerable right now. Hey, can you help me out? Now, that's something that we have to learn. That's environmental. But here's the thing: men have been displaced. And here's two men praying. And they're praying, one always prays for everybody, and then one came in who had been getting prayed for the one. What's your story? Like, what's in your life that people need? People need your life. Like the caption for this podcast today was the podcast caption of me praying. And I'm gonna tell you a crazy story about how I got that picture. I was doing my podcast before it was the Account for Life podcast. It was the Enlightenment broadcast. And one morning I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about. And I was sitting right in front of the microphone. I had one just like this, but it was light gray. And so I'm sitting in front of the microphone and the camera is on because I used to go direct to Facebook. And so I've got the Facebook live broadcast open. And so the camera's on. But I was using my phone. And so my phone, for some reason, started taking pictures when I had my eyes closed. And I'm just like this. And the phone took pictures. And when I saw the pictures, I said, how in the world did the phone take the picture? I'm like, the phone was just sitting there. Sometimes you say, well, maybe something was pressing on that button over there. I'm like, look, but it should have taken a lot. It didn't take like 100 pictures. I think there were like 2 pictures. And I'm like, how did the phone take a picture of me praying? And I remember I was, we were getting ready to get the podcast published on all the major stations. And my friend, David Harris, who actually set that up for me, he says, hey, do you have any pictures? So I looked at my phone and says, So I sent him a couple of pictures. And I sent that one. And he used that picture. And I says, so now it's full circle. Lord is like, son, it was always about prayer. Changing your life is always about connecting back with me. And because we hadn't been connected in a way that he could transform my life, then of course your life can't change. So what's in your story? What's in your story that could change a nation? What's in your story that could change your home? What's in your story that could change your marriage and change your kids? What's in your story that could change your business? What's in your story that could change your ministry, your church? What's in your story, guys? What's in your story that could change a friendship? What is in your story? When God gave us, I'm just going to say us, when God gave us the name Account for Your Life, it was like a Peter moment. It was like a Peter moment. It's like, Jim, what are you talking about, Peter moment? Here's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Peter moment. You know how when Jesus was talking to the disciples and he's asking them, well, who do you guys think? Who do people say I am? And then he asked them, well, who do you think I am? And then Peter was like, oh, you're the Son of the living God, the Messiah. And Jesus said, well, okay. You only know that. You only said that because the Father gave you those words. The Father actually shared that with you. So, but you don't even understand that. So when Account for Your Life showed up, and one day I was saying, I'm the healthy accountant. I'm the healthy accountant. I was always talking about I'm the healthy accountant. I'm the healthy accountant. Guys, I want you to realize how powerful it is when you use God's name. What's God's name? I am. When you use God's name, you say, I am, I am. Anytime you say I am, you have to become that. Oh, that's scary, right? Anytime you say I am, you have to become whatever that is. I am the healthy accountant. I help people to account for their life and their business. I didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm just coming up with this stuff. Healthy business, healthy finances, healthy life. I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm like, Lord, well, come on, give me a healthy business. Give me healthy finances. And I can see the healthy life thing, but man, can you help a brother out? I'll keep saying it though. How can your story change your nation? How can your story change your life? Imagine this. Imagine a tree, right? Imagine a tree who couldn't bear any fruit. Then it would have no use. No one has use of a tree that does not bear the fruit. They cut it down. That's what Jesus said. Jesus is walking. He sees the fig tree. Now, messed up thing was the fig. I don't think it was in season, but it was for a purpose. So he says, he sees this fig tree with no figs on it. He says, well, you're useless. And told the fig tree to die. Get out of here. You're done. Think about that. He's like, you're done. And the next day, it was done. The power of I am, the power of your word. How does your word, how can your word change your life? How can your word change your life? I'm the healthy accountant helping people to account for your life. I'm the healthy accountant helping people to account for life. And it's interesting because I had to start accounting. I had to account for my life. I had to pay attention to what my life represents. I had to do it. You know, it's interesting because, I was at a funeral yesterday. It's always rough, man. Funerals are hard. Funerals are hard, man, because when it's over, whoever lost this family member, they've got to face a reality here. They have to face reality that person is really gone. Our friend Rosie, who lost her husband. I know she's very strong, but she's hurting. She doesn't understand why. And it's weird. I was in the shower and I heard something, and that I'm supposed to tell her. But I was listening to the story of Jason Haywood. Here's what's interesting. His story ended. His story ended at 44 years and 11 months. His story ended. Could there have been more? Yeah. But do we know? See, this is the part. What was his purpose in life? What was the reason for his existence? Do we know? See, we can look at all the things that is in his story, but is that the purpose for his life? What was the purpose for his life? I don't know. I feel like the Holy Spirit has given me some insight into that. See, guys, when you connect with the Holy Spirit, when you connect and turn over your life to God, you learn things in the spiritual realm. See, your story and my story is so impactful that if we don't use it, if we don't use our story now, then when we die, because it's coming, no one will really know why you were here. I'm gonna say it again. No one will really know why you were here. There will be plenty of stories. There will be plenty of people saying, "Hey, this person was this, and this person was great, and this person was that," but no one would really know, because if you never shared what it is that you needed to share, no one will really know why you were here. Why am I saying this way? Here's why I'm saying it. Because until we know, no one can know. Now, sometimes people in the spiritual realm can find things out about you. Yeah, that's possible. Somebody that's connected in the spirit can find out things for you. Sometimes it might be too late. Like in Jason's case, I think what I heard in the spirit, what I heard of it now, no one, like, you wouldn't want to face that reality if you knew that's what it was. Like, I'm not going to share that here, because I haven't shared it with the person I need to share it with. But I'm not just going to share it. I'm just going to wait and find out if that's really it. Because look, at the end of the day, if you don't know what it is, then no one can know. You would so we can make up reasons of, oh, he lived a good life and she had a great life and she this and she this and she was a great person. But if we don't know the purpose and reason of our life, then we have died. We have left this place a failure. But here's the good news. I'm not going to leave you on failure. Here's the good news. God redeems all failures. God can redeem. I'm going to say God can redeem all failures. He's not going to redeem all, but God can redeem all failures. Some failures, right? Some failures are meant to be redeemed. So even when we miss, God redeems us. So your story is powerful. Your story is needed, but only you typically will know it. So once you know it, then you got to tell it. That's the purpose of my life, to help you to account for it so that you can discover what that is, and then so that you can be that person, and then so that you can do what it is that you came here to do. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. I'm Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the Healthy Accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.